Hey everybody, I want to talk today about customer service standards. One of my biggest pet peeves of all time when I'm doing business with somebody is their customer service standards. So when I call an organization or I'm working with a company and they're not responsive, if they don't answer my questions fully, it drives me completely insane. I cannot stand it. I'll give you an example. I was working with this accountant one time and everything was like pulling teeth. And then I get a bill for it. I don't work with that guy anymore. And here's kind of how it would be like, hey, here's all the stuff for my taxes. What else do you need? Crickets. A couple of days would go by, nothing. A week would go by. I'd email him, hey, just making sure you got all this information. Do you need anything else? Crickets. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get an email that says, hey, Mike, I need these 3 or 4 things to go ahead and complete your taxes. Like, I've been asking for 2-3 weeks about this stuff. And then I would say, okay, here's all the stuff. Here's 2 questions that I have. And they'd reply with thanks and not answer my questions. It's so frustrating when people do that kind of stuff. And yesterday, I was actually paid a tremendous comment by one of my clients. He said, Mike, I don't know how you do it, but you are super responsive. I wish we could be responsive like you are. And here's the deal. Here's how we operate. We are number one, fast response on everything. So if somebody's a current client, they do go ahead of prospects and folks like that. But if you're a current client, you're likely going to get an email response back from me, or a phone call back from me within 2 to 4 hours. I don't care who you are. That's typically how fast we're going to respond to it. If we can respond faster, we typically will. If you're a prospect, you go right in behind them, but usually 2 to 4 hours, that's our response window. And when we respond fully. We answer everything that person asked, not just 1 or 2 things and then just kind of fluff it off. We answer everything. Another big factor that I think is really, really important in customer service is setting expectations. You know how you do business. You know how you operate. So being able to simply say, here are the next steps. Here is what to expect from us, what we expect from you. This is how we operate. It solves a lot of problems and it just puts people at ease. So like with my accountant, I didn't feel like I needed to ask him, so when will I get the payment coupons for my taxes to go ahead and file those? How will that be done? Am I supposed to go print that? Or are you going to send it to me? When they say, hey, your taxes are all done, what's the next step? I literally had to go ask with this guy, what are the next steps? When will I get those things? What's the bottom line? What do I owe? Can I get a PDF copy of the tax? Like, I had to ask all this stuff. Your customers should not have to ask a lot of questions. You should be pre-positioning things about the relationship and what you're doing. And I don't care if you're servicing commercial clients or government clients, you're still doing this. Pre-positioning the process of how you're going to work with them is super important. It eliminates a lot of questions. It eliminates a lot of anxiety and frustration, and it just put them at ease that they made the right choice by choosing you. So communicate really fast, communicate often, and outline next steps when there's a process to something, and people will really appreciate you for that. If you got any questions about this or need any tips or tricks, feel free to reach out to me. As always, I love talking about this. It's one of my favorite subjects. Have a great week.